Smashville?
Maybe it is okay. It's Huntsville.
Smashville, Tennessee.
It's Huntsville in
Alabama.
Alabama. All right, I got excited because I thought it was All right, I got my wrong. My words wrong. Yeah. Huntsville, huge army base, and it's like bunkers, like nuclear bunkers, basically everywhere you can see. If you look on Google Maps, it's just like army barracks, like a bunch of just. I don't even know how
That's
to describe
really
it.
scary to me.
Like mounds. Like basically, what they have is like grass on top of these bunkers, and on one side of the Google Earth, you can see the like you can see the doors, and on the other side, you can't see anything because it's like blended. So there's this grass, it's a valley of grass, and you just see these mounds, like dirt mounds. Basically, it's like underground facility.
For everyone that doesn't know Reagan personally, him and my dad share this trait.
No,
And they just have to like draw when they start explaining something, they just have to have a piece of paper in front of them. So he's just drawn this little diagram which makes no sense to anyone. He just has to put pen to paper to be able to explain something properly. I just think it's so funny.
I wish I had to show you. Like it's just like basically just I'll put a link in the podcast, guys. But like if you look up Huntsville on Google Earth, it'll look like the Redstone Arsenal. You can basically just see this basically like nuclear. I don't even know if it's nuclear, but it's bunkers underground. There's the coordinates I just put in there. But yeah, it's insane. It's just like maybe that's where the presidents stay, where like members of parliament stay or stuff like that. Like if there's like a scare, or that's where they do, you know, they hide or practice and stuff like that. Like I don't know too much about it, but it's just insane.
To me, and I don't know, like maybe Cordell would feel differently about this because he's Canadian, but like I would travel to Canada because I feel Australia and Canada are very close in so many things. Like if you're lost in Canada, like you're not really lost if you're Australian, like everyone's going to take care of you. And it's like if you're a Canadian here, everyone's going to help you out kind of thing. But
Right.
like
if you're a Canadian anywhere,
Yeah.
everyone helps.
yeah, exactly. So it's like there's that connection that you feel okay. Whereas like America to me is very, as in like United States, is very scary. It's a very intimidating place, and I don't feel like I would be safe if I was to travel there. And I've always told Reagan this, because he's always wanted to go, and he's had like a fascination with a lot of American culture, and like because it's such a huge country and there's just so like state to state it's so different, which you don't really get here. But I would never. I won't want to say never, but I really think it's unlikely that I would want to travel to America because I feel so unsafe. Mainly, I say gun laws, but it's just all of that scary stuff that comes out of America that's just makes you feel like, why, if I was traveling there, and when you travel, obviously you're going to go to places that are highly populated.
Yeah.
And that's where that stuff happens a lot of the time. That's really scary to me. So in like as a Canadian, because you're closer to it all, do you feel like that's different?
Do you feel threatened by
does America, the
close?
concept of that scare you?
Yeah, not really. Like, you know, it's kind of like watching a house. It's not going to affect you, but it might.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what he said was it's like watching a house burn from the streets. On the street.
No, literally, like you're living across the street, street's on fire, and you're just watching it burn. Nothing you can really do.
But
probably won't
to
affect
travel
you.
there,
It
like,
might.
would you walk into the house? You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Is like how do you
walk into someone's house? Oh yeah. I don't know. It varies. Like I'm pretty good at traveling. I think so. Like I'll wander around. Like I wandered around Mexico City on my own.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
you
that's
like
different.
None of my friends would. No, none of my friends would go with me because we were literally high crime area right as soon as we went off the resort. Like my the probability of me dying was pretty high right as soon as I walked off the resort there.
I guess.
What was that like? That would be insane.
Oh, it was fine. I was fine. In the middle of the day, I
came out
was
alive.
scared. I just wanted to go.
No, but what's
I
Mexico
wanted to
City
go buy
like?
some candy.
What's Mexican City like? What does the city look like? Obviously, it's does it look like a western city, or does it look more like I don't know, like somewhere near?
I don't know. It kind of looks normal. Like some of it, we were in kind of an area, so it kind of looks run down. But, it was still beautiful. Like don't like they still have it's different architecture than what's in Canada because it's warmer climate. So I would say it's similar to what you have in Adelaide there because it's
Right.
warmer.
Yeah, but does like what does the city look like itself? Like to me, because I've been to Malaysia and stuff like that, and like Malaysian doesn't look like you go to the city and it looks amazing, beautiful, extravagant. It doesn't look like run down or anything like that. And whereas like compare that to Bali, a lot different. Like the whole place is like you're in a city, but it's more villagey and more like sparse.
It's kind of a mix in between, I guess.
Yeah, right, okay.
Like it's so beautiful in its own way.
Yep, and is it
Of
surrounded by
course.
water or not?
Like Mexico, well, it's part of North America, so there's everything's surrounded by water.
Yeah. I just dropped myself on a Google map by accident, and I just like.
Do you think going back to America and traveling to like the US, do you think that your accent probably helps you a bit too? Because you don't sound so foreign.
Well, we
probably
don't
don't-
really have. Yeah.
Like people don't try to probably take advantage of you. Whereas if you had like some sort of European accent or even Australian accent, people would be like, well, obviously you're traveling. Obviously you're not from here. Whereas you could just as, although there are like slight differences, you could just as likely be living there.
Yeah. Like,
I mean, it's hard
pretty
to
easy
say,
get there. It
but-
just depends. Like if you get into not different accents in them, because like there's your New Orleans accent.
Yeah.
Like your Louisiana, your Texan,
Yeah, yeah.
Alabama, and everywhere. Like it's all different throughout the states.
Yeah. Which is so
it
crazy.
kind of varies. Like we would be more closer to, well, like California,
Yeah.
Washington.
In fairness,
Kind of like, but we're not even like you got to actually cut out. Like we would be more the coastal states, not so
Yeah.
much the central.
what? Hold up. There's what is the state that's basically Michigan? Michigan is in next to New York, isn't it? I think they're like basically Canadian.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. It's
Where How Much Mother?
Yeah.
What's the name? USA.
Brooklyn.
No.
you know,
How I
Wis-
Met Your Mother.
Marshall from How I Met Your Mother, where he's from. No,
Minnesota. It's there. Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Minnesota. Sorry about that.
So you said How I Met Your Mother, and I was like,
I kept thinking of
Brooklyn?
Minneapolis, and I kept thinking of Minneapolis, and I'm like, that's not the state. And Wisconsin. Wisconsin. I couldn't. I was like Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
Yeah, that would be cool.
I've always thought though, and I watch like a fair few YouTube people, and I've watched documentaries and stuff of people that live in Utah, and I have thought that that would be somewhere like seeing those mountains, because I do a lot of geology in my degree. Seeing those mountains would be so incredible, but I just
Did you know that
getting to
here's
America scares me.
Yeah.
Here's another